Oh, it's quiet in here, huh?
No. Yeah, everyone's mic's closed. OGVP is not hunting with Saul.
Yeah. No, I'm busy. Should we start the quiz or we wait a little bit?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yes, please.
Okay, guys, in the Brew chat. You're all here? Is everybody here? Yes,
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, first question.
Look at this call, man.
How many legendary ships are available on the market?
My boy, your DVV is tired today, man.
Yeah, OGVP, tell us. Is that due to watching football?
Kabuka. No, I was working today. Kabuka, got it. Nice. Okay. And also Benny is not here. I have to start the stream on the other computer, so it's a little bit multitasking. Question number 2. It's one for Mr. Sask. What's the name of the monster in the last roadmap report?
Oh, look at Saul, man. Saul had the lore, man. The three guys have it.
Not bad. Squall was first for me, so it's one Kabuka, one Squall. Squall. Squall should be the new.
The quiz
should
host.
make a quiz. Yeah. That's the thing we can do.
That's a cool idea, man.
Yeah,
That's a cool idea, Saul.
we do that. Squall does the quiz, so would be the fairest. Question number 3. What's the name of the charm collectible available on the market? On the collectibles on the market, there is one charm. No, I want the full thing. No, come on. Kabuka on 2. Oh, Kabuka on 2.
There's a typo.
Hang on. No, it's Mustache right. There's a typo in Kabuka. Typo in Kabuka. So it's 1. Okay. A very sad question. It's like it's unbelievable. I didn't want to do this question, and it's really pissing me off. And what faction is Santi? This question is so bad. Oh my god. But no.
I'm an Oni.
And now, since hang on, who won actually? Kabuka again. So Kabuka is on 2. Kabuka is 2 and Squall, and Mustache right can tie if they fast enough. Okay, and last question. It's ±1. How many days ago school started? Because we're in different time zones, so it's ±1. Just give me a number. No. Come on. No elite fleets here. Yeah. All selling their ships. Oh my god.
Shame.
Oh, shame. All noobs here. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Nobody has a fleet staked on the. Oh my god. Kevin's
Save the owner of the Atlas Brew.
Yeah. Oh my god, so many news. This Dominic guy, oh my god.
Yeah, look at
okay, I
Dominic,
think we got
right?
it. Kawoka got it, I think so. It's not Squall tonight, and next week, Squall, 5 questions, be here, turn on your mic, and you do the quiz.
So who won? Who won?
Kawoka, I think, won.
Oh, congrats, Kaborka. Congrats.
You got 2 points. I haven't worked, okay. Yeah, I do the custom. Good guys, have fun with the brew, and see you around.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's our quiz host, guys. We love him.
Yeah, man. He's the best host of the quiz ever.
Yeah, true.
He's very passionate.
So we have an interesting brew today. I mean, it depends on you guys what we speak, because it's freestyle. I'm sure there are some interesting topics to speak about for sure. I know that there was a bit of controversy and a long discussion in Foundation Room chat regarding marketplace fees. We're down to speak about that and hear your thoughts from the whole community. As always, we will be taking notes. So yeah, let's wait a few more minutes and see if more people join. But yeah, Josiah, man, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Santi. I'm excited for today's brew because I wanted to discuss as well one topic that has been lingering on my mind for a while now. And I want to talk about the boundaries of Star Atlas in terms of gameplay experience on screen and on the future game, on showroom, when we got the multiplayers. Things like that, like for example, should Star Atlas, for example, try to forward rules against espionage? Should Star Atlas set the boundaries for the in-game dialogues to pass on legislation for the players? Should Star Atlas enable, for example, the conquest of territories in the high-risk zone? Things like that, I wanted to talk the limits of how the players want the world of Star Atlas should be. You want to be the masters of your own fate to the utmost consequences, or should Star Atlas be present and pass on rules about some practices on pain points, I want to learn the community thinking about this. I think this would be interesting to know.
Yeah, no, for sure. There are a bunch of very interesting topics that we can go through. I see Samskara saying we want to know about the R1 and R2 releases. I'm sure he's referring to the showroom. So we can brainstorm about that as well. There was some. If you heard the previous town hall, Danny shared some really interesting info on what each of them will include. Not sure if you heard the town hall, Samskara, but we can brainstorm about that as well. Also, remember, guys, before we jump into theory crafting and all, we have the competition going on for the videos, the creation of the videos, like the one Dave created. And we have a few submissions that I would like to share here. I'm just putting all them together and I will share in the brew if anyone wants to take a look at them. It's going to be a difficult one for the judges, I'm sure. Actually, I am one of the judges, so I'm sure it's going to be difficult. But we really appreciate all the content coming out from the community, and again, like we love to see all this. We're having a lot of fun and love the engagement and everything. I'm just again, I'm putting everything together to send it. I may be missing some, so if anyone else created videos, please share them with me, or share them now in the brew chat. So yeah, you can you can take a look now. Those are all the submissions that we have so far. I may be missing some, but really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, guys. The engagement and the videos. I will have a hard time judging them, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, they are awesome. I laughed a lot watching those, you know.
Yeah, man.
That's right. The pull-ups are getting a bad reputation in the Star Atlas metaverse.
The pull-ups are, yeah, man. I'm not sure what's going on with the pull-ups, but they are. They don't have the best reputation. Well, there you go. There's another one. A call for help from White Main. Let's add it to the list that I shared. Okay, cool. I added it as well.
Well, Santi, I think everybody's waiting for you to do a rebuttal.
To do my video, you say, or what?
Yeah, to protect the pull-ups. Yeah, I think they're all trying to stir the pot to get you to do a rebuttal video, like pull-up or something.
Man, I actually have it recorded. I need to put it together. I hope I can have time. Yeah, I hope I have time for submitting. I mean, I'm not even going to be judged, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll put it together and probably send that.
Well, the Punab will judge you if you don't submit it, so you're going to be at the mercy of the Punabs, as the Punab king, that is.
True, you're right. You have a very valid point. So, also, we have a town hall on Friday, guys. We have a town hall on Friday. Make sure to come. I'm sure you don't want to miss this one. And I'm not trying to create hype. You don't want to miss it. I think it's going to be very interesting. And hopefully with some good news for everybody. So, we'll be creating the Discord event soon, so you can mark as interested. I don't have the link right now. This is being created at this moment. So just letting everybody know, it's Friday at 4 p.m. EST, and that's 8 p.m. in UTC. So Friday, 8 p.m. UTC. Make sure to join the town hall here on Discord.
Come on, Saints, let's hype it a bit, man. Come, guys, it's going to be super awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's super hype, man. Come, guys, it's going to be awesome. You don't
I'm trying to protect myself.
I'm sorry, Santi. You know me, you know the power of the nudes, man. You know, it just comes. My bones get trembling, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome town hall, guys. Make sure to be there. Sorry.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a really good one. Not gonna lie, it's going to be a really good one. So yeah, make sure to join. Make sure to join. Also, okay, good news. Signal just posted it as well on general chat, but we can repost in the Atlas Brew chat. Signal if you want to repost that in the Atlas Brew chat. Today I think the latest specs for showroom were shared, the minimum. So that's pretty cool. Trying it right now. That's the latest we have from the testing and all. So yeah, those are the minimum requirements for the showroom, guys. Those are the minimum requirements. So now I think we got everything pretty much covered, and we can jump into the freestyle brew. Anybody has anything they want to speak about specifically? Make sure to just share. I see Signal, man. It's been long since you were in the room, man. Are you able to speak today, or are you driving or something?
Absolutely. How are you, my friend?
All good.
I had
all
a
good.
question. Something.
Yeah.
Can I talk?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The thing was the resources in Scream. There was some stuff in the foundation room going on about 3 different factions and where they located and if they locked or not locked their coordinates, or like we have to bring them back to our faction space station, right? Somebody.
Resources on Scream, you mean?
Yeah. So we have to bring them back to the faction space station, right? And then, but then are they locked there in our space station for crafting, or could we like trade them? For example, the multi-faction guilds. I think actually it was Funcracker asking this in Foundation chat. So if I bring my resources, my gathered resources to my station, my Whistler station, can I then send them somewhere else? Or are they locked somehow in the game for crafting or something? Do we know how that works?
The raw materials.
Yes.
The raw materials don't have any kind of geolock on them, but the refined materials are geolocked.
So then I can the refined stuff I cannot send or sell? No.
The refined stuff you would have to ship to whoever bought it, or whoever bought it would have to ship it to where they're located from where you have it. But the raw materials can just be transferred from wallet to wallet, and they would have it wherever they need it. Although clarification
that's later, right? I think. Yeah, it was confusing. I'm not really sure how it's going on.
There's also a lot of clarification. There's a lot of clarification that needs to be given about what raw materials are versus refined, because like if it's stuff that you loot with a D9 or something, and it's breaking down ship parts into quote-unquote raw materials.
I think you mentioned the later game. The later game, it's going to be more complicated and with the coordination. But in the beginning of Scream, I just want to know. So we gather resources, we bring them to our space station, and then are they free or are they locked for crafting? That's my question. Like in the beginning, at the start of Scream.
Well, I'm pretty sure you are right on that. As soon as you land on the starbase, it's deposited on it, like in the market. It's available for trading. But yeah, we can get further clarification on this. But yeah, for the initial game interaction, I think you are right.
Thank you.
Cool. Anyone else has any other topics? I'm down to discuss the different points of view in the marketplace fee. I know there was a big discussion. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what you guys think about it.
If nobody wants, I can rent a little bit.
Yes, Silardo.
The market fee and secondary research on the guide 1 and 2, or the market fee for the referrals?
I'm in the marketplace fee, the 6% one. I know there was some really interesting discussion going on through the whole. I think it was yesterday. I'm lost on the days, to be honest. I think it was yesterday or the day before. There was like a very extensive discussion on Foundation Room chat. So if somebody wants to share thoughts, we always take notes here and send to the team.
Nobody wants, I can do a little bit. So my thought is like, some people were complaining it's not fair. Like, of course, the 50 year is like $500,000 or something. 73 million Atlas need to be staked to get the full reduction, the max reduction. So that is, weird in my sense. I would prefer a flat fee, like Magic Eden or like Open Sea or something, 2-3%. And if they want to go spectral, put something with what's called, when you resell, you have to give 5% to the owner of the NFT. The royalties, and they calculate it like that. So 6% seems fair, but I don't know. It's for me, sometimes I think we forget that we talking about the game here, that's my main concern at the moment. The game is like, it needs to be fair play. And if new players come, and then they see, okay, there are these rich people bought these big ships, they have the big ships, and I can never get there. And then they see some stuff like the marketplace, why, if I craft a ship and I sell it, I have to pay 6% fees, and the rich guys, they only pay 2% or something, or 0.8, or I don't know the exact numbers. So it's a bit weird. I can understand the reason with the Atlas logging, it will benefit us all, and the DAO gets also to share, and that's all super cool, but yeah, at the moment I don't know, it just looks weird, like, because which normal player comes here and stakes $500,000 in Atlas, it's just, it's, I don't know what I should think about it, because, yeah, I mean, everything is expensive for all the new ships, you come here as a new player, and then you see the tank ship and the D9, and you think like $30,000, $100,000, what kind of game is this, like...
Yeah, no, understood. I see somebody wanted to speak as well.
Yeah, I agree with that idea, because for me, if you stake more Atlas, then you get more reward from the staking. So why should you get even more reward by having a reduction of fees? I mean, if you stake 70 million of Atlas, you will have your share on the staking. That is bigger than someone who stake 300 Atlas, for example. So why would you give even more to those person than the rest of the player? And that's true about also the point that if you are able to stake so big amount of Atlas, then you are probably also able to craft a lot of things, and it's not fair for people that are maybe have less playtime and will not be able to gather so much resource, and when they try to sell something, the price will be probably more difficult to be competitive when they try to sell something. Yeah.
I'd like to add to this point, because something that should be worth notion, and I'm not saying that the argument is wrong here, but just something to consider is that Stratos will be heavily focused on different careers and professions. So the guy who are selling the ships as a profession, as a career, especially as a metaverse career, is probably not the same guy who will be crafting them. Because the skill tree system, it emphasizes a lot on specialization. So on this regard, it's very hard for someone to be on every single part of the building loop, precisely because that's not efficient in terms of economics. And one of the reasons you use it on the taxes is also partly about the specific gameplay loop of those participating on marketplace buying and selling as a career on itself. But
I can counter this as, I'm one of the marketplace guys, and I'm not a big trader, but I trade every day. Like, it's hard, it's really hard, because there's too many bots there now, and so I make some calculations, like, basically, if I sell $1,000 ship for like $50, $60 profit, the new fee in the beginning, if I get on 6%, it takes like away like $40. So $40 I have to pay for the DAO and for the Atma, and I have $20 left. And the problem is I don't even get this margin, the $60, because there's spots on the market and they make the margin so low. So for me, it stops trading. Like, I cannot even trade anymore. And that's the thing, you come there as a player and you want to trade, but you can't, because you have to pay too much fees and the bots killing your margin. So it makes no sense for me to sell or buy anymore, And that's kind of concern. So then I got a fear, people see that, and then they're going to use other marketplaces. And I tell you for sure, the big guilds like Avia and stuff, or like any guild, Skull and Bones or Heimdall, they're going to have their own marketplace, and like they don't want to pay the fees to anybody, they trade it between themselves, So my concern is that if the fees are too high and the small players cannot trade anymore, and the big guilds don't even use it, so it's gonna make the marketplace kind of obsolete.
Yeah, I understand this concern. This is actually a very interesting point that you made. And Star Atlas is also focused on turning the marketplace beyond this simple trading mechanism, you know. There, of course, people from the economic team and Michael and the game devs, they can spend much better than me on this. But this kind of concern that you just shared is something that's on their mind, you know? They don't want to make the marketplace a senseless move, you know, in terms of taxes and buying and selling, you know, GVB. They are, yeah, this is something that maybe Michael will explain better than me because it's not on my area of expertise, if we may say it like that. But this is being taken into consideration.
But by considering the evolution of the character and the skill trees, I would rather be more okay to see a difference of fee applied depending your career and depending what you have done in the game instead of just depending the number of atlas that you stake or that you are able to stake. I mean, we can imagine a system where in a specific region, if you act as a commerçant and reseller and sell a lot of things, then you can increase a sort of reputation and get better fees on what you sell because you have act in the game as a reseller and not just come with a big wallet and stake a lot of money.
Yeah, I can't say specifics on this end, but your line of reasoning is correct. You know, the careers of Star Atlas are made to be meaningful, and they will probably help on every front of the game. As I like to say, the marketplace is an extent of the gameplay in every sense. It's not just a place for exchanging ownerships of NFTs, you know. For example, if the Treaty of Peace is notified, it will have implications in the marketplace and things like that. So yeah, I understand the concerns, but we are not nearly done with the things that matter most in the future of the marketplace. Every taxation, everything that we are making now is really following the current stage of the game. And as we improve the gameplay experience and create the new interactions and move on to other stages, the tax system and everything that works together with it will of course be also updated. Just to give this brief point, you know, but please carry on.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I like the idea of a skill tree for traders. And as he said, the more you trade, you know, the more you do for the DAO, you know. So we should reward actually the players who trade a lot because they're making us money. They're making Atma money, they're making the DAO money. So they should get the progression that way, you know, and not just like by staking 500.
Yeah, and maybe also mix it with sort of reputation per region. For example, if you sell a lot in a specific region, then you can reach a discount on the fees. But then if you go to another region where you did not sell anything, it's like if you go somewhere anywhere in the world and nobody knows you, and why do people or let's say commerçant would give you a reduction on anything because they don't know you. They don't know if you will buy them a lot or sell them a lot. So yeah, skill trees and maybe also define per region a sort of reputation for reseller that could give a bonus on the fees.
Yeah, I like those suggestions, guys. This is in line with what we have in mind for the game, the full gameplay of Star Atlas when those kind of careers and economic loops start playing their roles inside of game structure.
Yeah, can I add something to that? I mean, it's not completely a similar question, but it's another section. ODBB said something really clever in his talks. He said that, for example, Gil sets this plan that, the members start transferring the ships among themselves so that they won't pay the fee. And it really something popped up in my head is that if guilds look for ways like this in any different sector, in ways they look for ways like this to circle around the game mechanics and find ways to benefit from having a guild, having.
Well, I think we lost him.
Oh, sorry, I lost it. I wanted to ask, the main question is that how much autonomy is Startless willing to give the guilds, to give the DAOs? Because at some point, for example, if everyone wants to pay less fees, wants to, if there is a glitch, if there is a way to not to pay money, they will go for it. And I want to ask, is Startless considering this, and how much autonomy is it willing to give them to go their own way and find their own glitches and stuff like that?
You mean like a guild developing their own marketplace, for example, something like that?
Exactly that.
So that is actually in the blockchain. Like, I'm pretty sure that you can grab the contract for the smart contracts for the ships and set that up. Like, and I don't think I don't know. Again, I'm don't take my words as the Stratless team. I'm just brainstorming with you. I don't think it can be kind of like stopped. It's a free market. It's the blockchain. You can grab the smart contracts and pull that to your own marketplace if you have that.
Yeah, but by saying this, you make me think to another thing. If you put 6% fees that probably most of player will have to pay, then you have also the risk for a DAC that will create a marketplace with 1% of fees for anybody. Then they will get 1% of fees for them.
Yeah.
And of course, by having a so big difference with 5% of fees, they will attract a lot of people.
Yeah, but as I was saying on my last comment, the idea here is to make playing using the marketplace of Star Atlas for the meaningful gameplay experience, and many different things that and implications of using the marketplace of Star Atlas, in terms of faction, loyalty, and things like that. We have all sorts of ways of interconnecting the political gameplay, the economical gameplay, in a way that it makes sense for players to use our marketplace and to have a meaning on doing so, We want our marketplace to be used not because it's the only option for the players, but because it's part of the most entertaining experience. And as you see, the use of our marketplace also has implications for the funds of the DAO and the whole game ecosystem. So we are aiming to make this like the ultimate marketplace experience, as well as a political and economical tool inside the world of Star Atlas. So that's the reason why we are doing this in the way that we are doing. But I'm sure that in the future, when the time is right, Michael will come and explain the plans and go longer on this.
Oh, for sure. That's for sure. We're just theory crafting right now, as always, on the different possibilities. Don't take our words. Don't quote us. Like, don't take our words like this is what the Star Atlas team is planning or stuff like that. We're community members doing the brew. You need to keep that in mind. That's important.
Then it gives it even more importance to incentive the fact that we as users, as players, are using your marketplace, and of course by giving a career pass in marketplace, then this could prevent player to say, okay, I will sell it on a side marketplace because I have no bonus to sell it inside the game.
Yeah, no, get that, and of course, like there are reasons. I think that this conversation is more like those questions are more like for to come from a clarification from Michael on what are the reasons, and from Stratlas in general on why this decision has been made, which we will be making that very clear. And also, yeah, as always, we can discuss in different brews and continue brainstorming about it. But yeah, I appreciate all the comments, guys. I really appreciate all the comments. And of course, we're taking notes. I know that there are also team members listening, but we always send the notes from the different thoughts from the community to the team. So
I have a change of topic for Cesk.
Let's see.
The comic, like the lore. Wasn't there some talk when the showroom comes, we get the comic and we can find it in the showroom and all this fancy stuff? Any news to that? Like is the comic ready? Or like did you?
Oh, those are with the hard questions.
Yeah.
I what was the answer that the legal team told me to do? Oh yeah, I'm not allowed to comment this on at this current moment. But I want to say that your answer might be answered in the near future.
Fair.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Legal guidance here, guys.
Yeah, trying to keep our jobs. Like it's very difficult. Like when we are in this situation, like it's
yeah, like for example, I just saw a tweet from Prigs, man, going around saying that, Santi, do you have it so we can share with the community here?
I think I saw that. There's some speculation.
Speculations, lots of speculations. Yeah. So guys, don't ask us about this that I'm posting right now because Santi and I are not allowed to answer questions about this. You know.
We try to keep it theory crafting when we.
How these guys get this information?
The when question is always a difficult one for us.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Always a difficult one.
It doesn't matter. It's already late.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate
it. Yeah, but yeah, I believe that the town hall will be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you don't want to miss this town hall for sure. Yeah. For sure.
You're gonna announce a new 46 event, so nothing. You're not announcing what you're gonna release, but only that there's gonna be a new release event, I guess.
As I said, we are not allowed to comment.
Yes, John.
Oh no! Don't start with the announcement. Don't start with that. No. Announcing a town hall. Announcing a town hall.
Yeah, we are talking about the town hall.
Oh, guys. No. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Santi, what have we done?
No, just be in the town hall.
Yeah, guys, just be in the town hall. The town hall of the announcements.
Just announcing the town hall of the announcement.
To announce
announcements.
Yeah, guys, be at the town hall. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining, and yeah, that's what we are saying.
Yeah, it's a sensitive times to say, you know, sensitive times.
Yeah, hard times.
Yeah,
and especially. It's really interesting because behind the curtains, reality is one thing and outside of it is another. So it's hard to communicate without going too far. So yeah.
How long ago was the last 4-6? How long ago was the last 4-6?
Oh, I don't know exactly.
Good question.
Like 15 years.
4 weeks ago, I guess. No, joking. There's no.
It was like 18 months ago.
I'm being serious. Like, how long ago was that? I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. That's what I'm trying to remember.
6 or 7 weeks, something like that.
So we're due, right? We're due for like more big sort of releases, correct? Would that make sense?
Mm.
Some would say overdue, my friend.
Yeah.
Is that
4 to 6 is a relative term, right? We've established that so far.
We know it's not a reliable.
It's definitely output.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want it to turn to 426 days, right? Like weeks.
Oh, definitely.
guys?
So we should not push our luck. We should just leave it to 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, guys, you know that we love you, right? That everything that we do here every day is for you, is to bring the developments of the Star Atlas universe for you in the best way possible, and that entails as fast as we can, with it being safe, and that serving the thresholds that we want you guys to experience in our overall experiences. So yeah, like our timeline.
Very much appreciated. But for me, you can save the hype and just tell us the truth and just show what's there instead of trying to show something what's not there yet.
Yeah, I guess you'll get the answer that you seek on the top.
Yeah, I mean,
As far as I'm going.
Well,
Yeah, I won't be there.
as a general comment, I guess, since you mentioned that some of the dev team is listening, because the time frame of the project is just so gigantic, right? Like we all have to be like mentally prepared for that and remind ourselves, like, okay, guys, anybody coming from gaming, like getting used to buying the game, it's like the same text, right? You go and you purchase the game, and developers spend whatever 5 years making it, so on and so forth. Like, we have to keep reminding ourselves that stuff. But Web3 space is a little bit different. And I think anybody who's developing in the space, they realize that you have to kind of keep feeding the furnace to kind of have the fire alive. And to the dev team, at least from some of the projects that I'm involved in, and seeing how they choose to keep the fire alive, potentially, like, as you're building this gigantic Unreal Engine 5 project, maybe there's room for like small things, like for the players to get involved with, like small, tiny, creative things, like storytelling. And I know like the video is part of that, but like something on the blockchain that's storytelling related, character development, that we could come up with like character names and having that be portrayed on the blockchain, storytelling that's blockchain related, content created that's Star Atlas blockchain related, like something that we can kind of put a stamp on the blockchain while waiting for the game to be developed, and then the community could kind of almost like gamify these things. Like we were discussing like ship naming, character building and stuff like that. That would be really great to see these kind of things, like small things that would engage the community, allow for us to put our stamp on the Star Atlas specific blockchain, if that makes sense.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, man, it's totally awesome. And I think this is also part of a greater conversation that we were having yesterday with the team overall, because as you said, Web3 development and a AAA Web3 development, as we are doing right now, I think there is no basis on how to do this, because we are one of the first projects, and maybe the first one of this size to do something as we are doing. So right now we are establishing ways of getting you guys closer to this production, as you said, to keep the fire going. We feel you. Like, I totally understand you guys wanting to see behind the curtain, and we want to provide you guys with more knowledge, more content. Always, this is something that Sainty, Dom, are always fighting for. But yeah, we are establishing how to do this. This is under internal discussions to keep everything going in a cool pace, to keep you guys the content closer to you guys. But
Well,
yeah,
I think it's important to maybe conceptually separate a little bit, right? When you're talking AAA gaming, right? I mean, we understand, right? AAA crypto gaming, right? It will be basically gaming that has connection to the blockchain, giving players ability to actually own the assets, exchange the assets, etc. But then I would almost, to a degree, separate the community building, right? That's not game related, right? To exist as its own entity, right? There's a reason why, for example, your team focuses on the community building side, and then the dev team focuses on what they're doing to create the AAA game. But there is definitely, in my opinion, AAA quality community building that exists out there. And
For sure.
from what I've seen so far, the AAA community in Web3 building, there are definitely some specific notions that are recurring, some ideas that are recurring, and the things that are most powerful and most influential are connected to community members being able to put a stamp on the game. Like, not so much on the game, because I'm not going to create UE5 like assets, which will be down the line potentially, right? But not until the full game's released. But I'm able to write stories, I'm able to make images, I'm able to make posters, I'm able to make video, as we're establishing right now, right? And giving the community ability to create these things will forever bind them to the game, right? That will come about. So I think it's very, very important to kind of develop those tools. Like a couple of projects I'm in, you are actually, maybe there's an idea maybe to start making PFPs for the players, right? Establishing a larger or maybe customizable PFP base where we could either buy into it or have it be free, right? So we could write the stories to our individual PFP characters for the game, maybe connectivity with like companies like Ready Player Me that can allow for you to start like crafting your character, in a specific like faction, something of that sort. I don't know, but these things really, really like they made me buy into some projects. Or even get some free drops from certain projects, and I've created stories, and I would never sell those. Like, how could I sell my own story? Like, it would make no sense for me to even sell it. And I think that's what really allows for me to be really close to those communities, because I've created my identity there. Like, as I've created my Twitter account, to communicate to like Web3 at large, but like this would be creation of my character within Star Atlas, to be part of the Star Atlas community, right? As I'm part of my guild in Heimdall, and I would love to be part of the community at large, so we could like put our stamp on it. You would never sell out of that, and I think that's what allow for the game and the community to like longevity, because I can't sell who I am in the real world. Like, I can't put my identity for sale. Technically, whatever, I guess somebody could steal my identity information, but not the real thing. Like, I would never myself sell me, right? So it would be great to see that being developed in Star Atlas.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, and it's you bonding kind of like with the game itself. So I get that. And yeah, of course, like there are some people like who are literally already doing stuff like that, like Atlas Corp with and Coexist with building like custom skins. And I know we are not the ones providing those tools, but we see like the demand for that as well. So yeah, I appreciate your comments, man. Like,
it could be small, simple stuff, right? But it would be a
more
very
like
powerful.
more customization, more stuff like that, making it more personal. That's kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah, I have, for example, there's a project that I'm in where I purchased the NFT. It's like a character. And then on their website, I'm able to write the story of that character. And as soon as I press save, that's connected to that particular PFP NFT, right? So, like, it's really neat. That presents my identity. I have the main character that I chosen, and that presents my identity in that project. And when I'm talking on Discord, I'm referring to my character. I'm talking as my character, and that connects me to the storyline that's part of that project, to the lore, right? As you would say it, right? To transfer it to Star Atlas terms, correct? So something simple, like it doesn't have to be anything like labor intensive, but something that would connect the community to the project, to the game.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I appreciate your feedback, man. As always. As always. So, anybody would like to propose a new topic? Jose?
Hello, friends. Hello, friends.
Yeah? What's up?
What's up? Here, Alexo Patton from Venezuela.
Oh, nice. Bienvenido.
I don't have good spoken English conversational skills, so I had to write this in a Google Translate to express myself by reading it. So I will try to do my best on my comment like this, you know? I am excited about Star Atlas so much, so that I dare to communicate in English without knowing how to speak in English, you know? It is exciting to see the mechanics of liquid democracy involved in the DAO and its legal form, as well as the possibility of experiencing relationship between the DAO and companies from different countries, you know? So I tell you that we can start thinking about the integration of non-virtual assets to the Star Atlas plot. Perhaps to a pre-approval protocol through the DAO, so that the merchandise can be exchanged using Atlas through an integratable mechanism, you know? If we push in that direction, myself and many of you could offer to be the starters in that experiment. Not a starter, I think. I understand. Perhaps we can see formulas to connect jurisdictions, economic jurisdictions, think about increasing the jurisdictional capital of status through the marketing of mangoes, cola, or in a virtual commodity sold from a station. Imagine that once the merchandise is purchased, the shipment has the traditional wallet will, while the logistics are manifesting in the real it is updated with start to reflect changes in the status of the shipment. It serves to break patterns, you know, and test new issues. That is why question about this.
Thank you for sharing. I think just to summarize it a little bit, I think he was referring to using Atlas to purchase things in real life and maybe in specific markets. I think, please correct me in the chat if I'm
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I know I'm no legal expert, but I know that will be like a pretty difficult push to do something like that. And yeah, I appreciate you like literally using the translator, man, to just join the conversation. Like that's real passion, man. That's real passion, and I'm sure the whole community can feel it while you speak. Like, thank you for
thank you very much.
Yeah. So again, no legal expert. This is not again not financial advice or whatever. Like not speaking in the name of the Star Atlas team or something like that, but I know it is kind of like a very difficult thing to do, to kind of like legalize virtual currency to be traded in specific real life markets. Like, I'm not sure if that's. I mean, they are even struggling in some places to get Bitcoin to be like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear the thoughts from people on this. If anyone has any. I'm reading the chat as well.
Yes, I understand. But you know, I like challenges, and I know we all look at them too. Look at the model of local bitcoins, perhaps, as an original idea. Local bitcoins is a credit document. It's an emulation of a credit document. And I believe if we can emulate the scroll mechanism in local bitcoins into Star Atlas Marketplace, I believe we can push to the state that we can intercambiar.
Exchange.
Let me write this down in the translator document, please. Wait.
You can continue on the chat. Let's continue on the chat. So we also give
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I see Dr. Dufferschmidt, he said, Michael has mentioned this as being something that is possible, but he stated it as being part of the super grand vision, so not something I am expecting anytime soon. So that's an answer from Michael. I'm sure he probably shared this in Foundation Room sometime. So yeah, I would like to let's continue the chat on. Let's continue on the chat. If you have anything, use the Atlas Brew chat, and let's continue the conversation in there. I would like to open the floor. We are 9 minutes from closing, 9 minutes away from closing. So if anyone has any other topics you want to speak about before closing this brew, feel free to speak now. Just say you got anything else that you would like to speak about. Just checking.
I don't know if we should keep up the topic of the boundaries of gameplay, stuff like spionage, laws inside the metaverse, and things like that for another group. Maybe someone wants to discuss. Did you send them the minimal expects?
Yes.
That were repeated?
They were sure. They were sure.
Awesome. How do you guys felt about those? Are they? Do you feel that?
Yeah, that's the question regarding that. Exactly that. Is there a moral code in Stream or something like that, or is it just Wild West? Is it gonna be like that?
So it's regarding the Android thing and not the PC specs.
Yeah, just exactly just what Joseph said. He said espionage things like that. I just wanted to know: is there a moral code? Is there a red line that a guild or a member could cross, or no? It's just Wild West. Anyone can win. I mean, the point of view of Star Atlas. We're talking about what Star Atlas think about.
Yeah, to be honest about that, Star Atlas thinks that spionage is fair game. It's part of the political gameplay, and overall, it's pretty allowed in terms of players, of course, creating regulations about them inside their own decks and enforcing their decisions. But I don't see this as Star Atlas going and passing a moral code or civil legislation about spies or anything like that. I don't think that would be desirable. Or do you guys have a different opinion as to the topic?
Well, I think
I want to be part of COPA.
Yeah.
Well, I think the DAO is gonna kind of we're talking about gameplay quality, right? So once the gameplay is going to be active, and if these things reduce gameplay quality and there's general upset and sort of unfairness, then the DAO is going to start to kind of iron these nicks out, right? Because that would be the idea.
Well, yeah, but these things happened in a game like EVE Online, and the team just accepted them and encouraged them eventually. Yeah.
Well, in your opinion, do these things, hypothetically, would these things improve gameplay or make it unfair somehow and reduce the enjoyment of the game?
In my opinion, we're trying to recreate a universe, and fairness is not a necessity. So, as for example, when I said is espionage, for example, on the menu, I wanted to continue. For example, if they said yes, I would say, okay, how about sabotage? Things like this. How far is Star Atlas is willing to let it go so that people can, because in the end you want fun, and I agree with you. You want a fun game for everyone, but if it's gonna be real and you're making money by attacking others or making others earn less, then it's exactly like the market. It's exactly like the crypto market. It's the same thing. So that was exactly my question, because it's between two completely different worlds. In one, you have to destroy in order to earn, or in order to earn, you have to make others lose. And in the other one, you want a fair game for everyone. I just wanted to know where Star Atlas stands in this balance. How much is it willing to let it go?
Well, that's a philosophical question. I would say a difficult one to ask. I think that the answer that the partnership was saying is pretty much a good one. Like, if there is something that is actually affecting like gameplay experience and making the game like not fun to play or stuff like that, I'm sure it will be raised by the DAO and voted by the people. And probably the Star Atlas team could get a fix in place or something like that.
Yeah, Santi, I think that's what kind of from the original idea, I was thinking that's why Star Atlas did want to have such a big share in the beginning of voting power, right? Because they wanted to prevent like whales affecting things or these kind of destabilizing events from happening, where there will be maybe like a large group of people who are want to do something, and then they have a lot of voting power, and then they just destroy the gameplay for the ecosystem as a whole. Yeah. Right? So I thought the DAO would act as this self-governing, self-stabilizing thing with Star Atlas team in the beginning, before they redistribute the voting power back to the community, acting as sort of a mediator. So I was thinking like that's how things would be stabilized. Does that make makes
sense? It makes sense totally. It totally makes sense, and like premature decentralization is a thing. Like you can't just. There are many reasons why you can't just like decentralize everything and that's it. And I'm pretty sure everybody here like is aware of that and why it's structured like that. But the DAO is going to be clearly like one of the best tools to raise stuff that should be changed in game that is affecting the user experience and how the game is played. That's for sure. It doesn't matter in what stage of the DAO, but it's going to be a thing for sure. I have no doubts about that.
And Jose, since you brought up this topic, what's your thinking about it? Because maybe we can piggyback on that.
Jose, are you around, sir? Oh, I think we lost Jose. That's too bad. Or is it me? Anybody seeing Jose?
No, he's gone.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I'm sure he had like interesting thoughts about it.
What about you, Santi? What's your thinking about these things that Jose mentioned?
So I think there are things that you can't actually avoid, like as an institution, like for example espionage and stuff like that. Like how can you control if guild members are spying on other guilds, or things like that? It's and you see that in other like even more centralized games that there were some interesting wars and events like that in EVE Online, for example. I mean, we'll see how everything plays out. I'm going a little bit back to what we were discussing. Like, I'm glad we have the DAO as that tool in which we can vote and let the team know, like, yeah, there is something that it's not working here, and we should change this, like, because it's it needs to be changed because it's affecting the gameplay experience. But there are other things that were. It's more like a philosophical question on if people would like more intervention from a centralized standpoint, like the Stratless team, or should be more free and see how it plays out. I don't know. Hope I explained myself a little bit.
Man, sorry. Sure. I was trying to answer and you guys didn't hear me. But since we are on time, I'll be real quick. I personally have a very strong opinion on overall giving the players and the community the world on moral grounds. I have my own very stoic ethics, but I feel that Web3 is also where we display our visions about reality and how we want them to be. And actually, the moral ground, as Partnership said, comes from the DAO, and even more on every person, own philosophy and ways of playing. Star Atlas actually tackles on the very fundamentals of everyone's ethic, because we actually own ownership of everything we are doing, and people need to know that what they are doing will impact others' lives. So, yeah, this is also a very important thing as human beings. The game and our own self morality blurries and comes together in Star Atlas. So, yeah, I want to see what kind of community we'll become. But I personally think that those kind of actions, like betraying the trust of your guildmates and something like that, will have a very bad impact for the guys that make it inside Star Atlas. But that's just my 2 Atlas.
Interesting that you mentioned like betrayal and stuff like that. I mean, betrayal exists in the real world, and that's what I guess makes the real world, I mean, the ultimate game, so to speak, right? Wouldn't it be fun to have these things going on in the game, right?
Yeah, I think it's part of the game. It will be part of the game because that's how people are. And Star Atlas is just another expression of the people's self being, right? It's a part of their faces, and a very crude one, a very real one, more than any other game that came before it.
Reputation, right? So yeah, if you have and I'm gonna piss off some pirates here, but if you have somebody who is like more looking for the bounty, right, who's willing to kind of blur the lines a little bit, then maybe even if they betray their guild and bring a gigantic bounty to one of the pirate guilds, like that's just their reputation will be really worthy in a pirate guild, but maybe will be shunned in a builder's guild.
Yeah, this is also something to consider for sure. And people are asking, Santi just asked it on the chat, not showing our faces give us less reputation? What do you guys think about that? Would it add to our reputation to have our face doxed?
That's a very interesting topic, because I'm sure, especially like players, you don't really want to show your face as a player. I know in my case, for example, it's different because I am a team member. But in terms of players, like, I don't know how showing your face will give you more reputation or less reputation. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
I say all the reputation you need is for the guild to have some kind of, control over your, not so much control, but like, and almost like if you're talking trust issues, then like some guilds might institute a program where they will be like, they will hold your assets for like the duration of the campaign. And if there's any foul play discovered, then the guild can appropriate your assets by agreement, that the fact that you like screwed them. In terms of like doxing, I think it's just so much fun to have this persona. Like that's, peak of imagination. I would hate to be doxed.
Hey, can you guys hear?
Yes.
I think that a lot of us will choose to essentially role play. Have you guys watched that documentary on HBO? We Met in Virtual Reality.
No, haven't heard of it.
I mean, it just gave me a lot. It's a really good doc. It's a sort of like a proto metaverse. So there's actually a school for deaf people, which kind of blew me away. So imagine someone has a full body motion capture and they're deaf. Well, there's a gentleman there that created a school for people that want to learn American Sign Language. And just imagine each little VR chat is its own little world. And one key aspect was how each person through their avatar almost felt more real than they did in our real life. Some people don't feel confident about the way they look. Some people are overconfident of the way they look. But in a metaverse, you can project sort of like your ideal self. And I think if we use our actual images, that kind of takes away from that. Plus, I'm too pretty. You guys couldn't handle it.
Oh, love it. Hello, Santi.
Yep.
Hey, I'm sorry, I was late. Real life got in the way, but I think I might have interesting thought when it comes to this. As someone that has been part of, quote unquote dangerous negotiations when it comes to gaming all my life, I would say that every single time someone tries to go all the way when it comes to role play, to protect identities and things like that, that will help up to a certain point, or up to a specific point, because in the end, your character, who you are, will always shine or mud that persona. So I was exposed to a lot of very dangerous, quote unquote, people when I was on Eve. And I'm constantly exposed to very dangerous and also very awesome people within Star Citizen as of right now. And they can have as many layers of masks as they want to have. In the end, when you negotiate, you're negotiating with the individual, not with the role play character. So even when it comes to security, you can have as many layers of security as you want, but we all know that that's not gonna hold people that really want to do you harm. So I understand it, but in the end, when it comes to what we're talking about, the gaming aspect of things and the way that you build trust, I can actually turn on my camera right now. I don't care, because my actions determine the level of trust and confidence that people will have on me, and that is not associated to an avatar or my webcam. It's associated to what I do. So that plays every single time. So.
That is very valid, and I honestly think that like being face dogs or even name dogs, which like I have seen face and name dogs people literally rug projects in the past. Like I don't think like being dogs, totally dogs in terms of like name, nickname, face, everything means something. And like we are. This might be like a little bit like a philosophical standpoint, but we are like in the building like a new society in which you can actually be identified as wherever you want. In fact, society is changing right at this moment. And you can build your identity like inside the Star Atlas metaverse, and that doesn't mean that you are not people. People can trust you less because you're not showing your human face. When we are like, we have the chance to make people identify as whatever they want and be whatever they want. Why should we treat people who don't show their human faces as less trustworthiness than other people?
Well, when forming guilds, and I'm sure, and you seeing it, this progression that certain organizations within Star Atlas community and guilds, they're actually incorporating in the real world, and to do that, to like establish like partner percentages and stuff like that. Obviously, these individuals will have to be doxxed. Because there is like profit sharing in fiat and whatever payment they're using. So there's like tax ramifications. So for those things, I'm certain there will be a certain level of doxing for like profit sharing purposes. But if we're talking about like creating an identity, a brand, like to represent you, personality, like I think it's totally fine to just maintain this persona. To me, it's like sometimes it's even tricky to, like, I would love to post something, but I don't want my face to be shown, right? But then I want my face to be shown because the content is relevant. And it's just like making it into an additional layer of gameplay on an interpersonal level. Has nothing to do with trust. The trust is, I totally agree, is what you do on a daily basis. And if you will wind up doing something bad, a big percentage of the community might turn away from you. And then your existence in that particular community will no longer be relevant. So,
True. Also, I remember something. I'm sorry to interrupt. No, I remember vividly one instance when I was part of those conflicts within Eve versus Goon Swarm. The Eve heads might be able to recognize the name. I remember that we were hunting this person, but we were having this problem trying to ID this person within a specific place and time, and to be able to pinpoint it, because this person kept jumping in between avatars and personas and characters and things like that. But at the end of the day, one of our commanders said, "I don't give," and I'm sorry, pardon my French, "I don't give a fuck who this person is or how this person looks. I'm just shooting an avatar, right? Or I'm just fighting against a flag or a band of people." And again, your persona is going to be able to take you up to a certain point, and is going to be able to protect what you're going to do up to a certain extent. But we have very capable people within, in this case, Eve, that will be able to unearth each and every one of the layers of security that you might have around you. And I'm 100% sure that that's going to be the same thing within Star Atlas. And at the end of the day, believe it or not, things reversed, and you started to have people with webcams all out in meetings when it comes to alliances and things like that. So again, I get why people do it, but what goes around comes around at the end. So
interesting thoughts.
Well,
Thank you for sharing.
It's Sutherland, right? You were talking about Eve, right? Sutherland, is that Sutherland?
Lucius, but yes.
Oh, Lucius, sorry, but yeah. So that's I said it there, brother. I said in the chat is that ever since I've been into this game and wanted to be part of a guild, I kept, I write notes, whatever, just for my own stuff. But what is the plan? And every guild out there, I think whoever's in leadership should just sit down and make a plan of what do we do if Imperium goons come in and play the way they play Eve in our game. Or better yet, what if there's a guild right now that's simply going to take on that Goon Swarm mantle of, we're not here to ruin the game, we're here to ruin your game, or scamming? Because we talk about espionage, but scamming people is like a part of the Eve meta. So if everything's open, it's just, even if we don't like it, we have to really think about, there are people that they get off. And now we're talking about real world assets and all that. And there should be a bigger layer of security because of blockchain, but people get social engineered all the time. So
Oh yeah.
I really think that people, when you're whoever you are out there, you're still an individual. You're going to be part of a guild, but remember.
Oh, did we lose him?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. That level of scamming. Like I said, check out the guy called Erotica One. Sorry, guys, I'm cutting in and out.
All good.
But anyway, I just think that we got to prepare that we might want the meta to be a certain way, but it's just going to be what it'll be. And some people will really like just messing with people.
I think the main thing that we have to take into consideration, and that's something that I was chatting with Bomber, my very, very good friend Bomber, the other day. People need to stop thinking of a very specific meta. The meta is going to change every single time. That's number one. That's number two. Number two is that there are guilds and people, and those that have chatted with about this, or there have been people that have been chatting about this already. You guys have no idea, like the level of backroom deals that are being conducted as of right now in between guilds that are actually preparing for this when the game drops. And if you're a guild leader and if you're someone that wants to be part of a competent guild within Star Atlas that will have repercussions in the financial world the same or worse as in the gaming world, you have to be part of those conversations somehow or be ready, because the meta 1 week is going to be something, and and let's face it, and we have teams from or devs from the Star Atlas team here right now, and they might be able to patch it or to do something, and then people are going to figure out something different to screw people over, and that's going to be the interaction when it comes to that. So guilds have to be ready, people have to be ready, because folks are already working on things that, and I wish I could say more, but things that have affected the Star Atlas community as of now, and things that happened before have been associated to individuals doing, their tricky little things behind the scenes. So it's something that is happening as we speak. So people have to be ready to speak.
Oh,
No, yeah, it's. I think it's also like a matter of education, like having an educated community and them knowing like classic social engineering stuff and scams and things like that is going to play a big game, and that's one of our focuses as well, like from the community team, like educating how can we be actually better at educating community and new members, especially. It's more like even more gamers who don't have crypto experience and things like that, for them to not fall into stuff like that.
Actually, I'm glad that you brought up what you brought up. Whoever spoke before Santi, I'm sorry, I wasn't watching the names, but it's honestly, in terms of like social engineering and like kind of cracking some things, there will be quote unquote foul play that will eventually become normal play or be deemed as ultra foul play, and whatever the story might be. Because you have programmers who are knowledgeable with blockchain, reading the blockchain data, being able to gain advantage, right? And there's definitely like guild programmers who are working in this field today. I'm sure of it, right? To gain advantage and try to figure out. There's a lot of things happening where people are trying to get some kind of advantage, and it's so crazy that it's happening now, like years ahead of the game being like launched. It's insane. That really kind of makes this thing so kind of crazy and exciting in a way, because the fact that it's being developed now and the fact that people are already looking for loopholes for a game that doesn't exist yet is just showing how big this whole thing is going to be and how exciting it will be to kind of maneuver these like dangerous waters and like really try to see, will the final gameplay be fun, and will people stay playing it and be entertained by it, and will we be able to kind of beat up the people who just want to extract value rather than play the game and exist in a community.
all very interesting, man. I really love the conversation. I don't want to be the party pooper, but I need to jump. I'm 20 minutes late to a call. So
Yeah.
again, guys, feel free to continue the conversation after me and Jose leave. I appreciate you coming, and we will see you in the town hall on Friday. I'm sure it will be fun. So see you in the town hall on Friday. Make sure to join. And as always, appreciate your feedback, guys, your comments, and we are all part of the same thing. We are all fighting for the same goal, and I know there are difficult times where things are more difficult, times where it's easier. Thank you for the sneeze. Bless you. And let me finish, and then that's it, guys. And so just appreciate you, everybody. It's. We are just, again, I'm aiming for the same thing, and together we are getting better. We hear the feedback, and just appreciate all of you guys.
Oh, Santi, don't wait. Very important. This wouldn't be a brew if nobody mentioned your singing. I just wanted to be that person. So when? WEN? When?
The DAO will vote.
Let's go.
The DAO will vote on that. We agreed upon that. If the DAO votes and that passes, I'll sing something, man. I'm not even sure why I'm committing to this. So yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to. It's not a brew if nobody comments.
That's the first DAO proposal.
The first ever DAO proposal is me singing. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I gotta jump, but again, I appreciate all of you. We get better, we improve all together. We hear you, we hear your thoughts, we hear your feedback, and we are all going and trying to achieve the same goal. So yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you guys, for real. Have a good day, and see you soon. Bye bye. Or to the people.
Bye, guys. Stick to the man. See you guys.
Bye bye.